Welcome to my top 10 games of all time. Battlefield series. Back in the days before esports and all the mainstream attention, Battlefield 1942 was released. Changed the way team games were played. I had never seen a game that had vehicles, tanks, infantry, all going at it at once. And all that seemed to be very personal in a sense when you think about the history and how many lives were lost. So I found myself being more involved or immersed in the action of the game. I ended up owning most of the games of the Battlefield series on multiple platforms. This game and the next one on my list, mixed with Saving Private Ryan, just owned Call of Duty. Before the futuristic stuff, man, before this upcoming World War II release that was unveiled shortly ago, Call of Duty was the first deathmatch World War II game I had ever played. From the Thompson to mastering the bar, learning the dolphin dive, and learning to master your weapons with recoil, Call of Duty had the intensity Battlefield lacked. A more fast-paced, in-your-face Warfare 2 match with skills to master. As for scrims, we're concerned back for the Cyber Athletic League, we would run scrims for teams back then using a mod called PAM. PAM was a way for rest of the leagues to modify, ban certain weapons or perks that were a bit overpowered. Call of Duty then moved to console for the third World War II release, and that never came to PC. So further down the road, they included Modern Warfare, and nothing's been the same since. Halo. I think Halo was the first FPS I ever liked on a console. I still recall trading my PS2 for the Xbox, even though I was warned by friends and family not to take a chance on the Xbox. I did. Never regretted it. At the time, I recall never playing a game with a story like Halo's. You were the Master Chief, the badass of the universe, kicking ass and taking names with Cortana. What blew my mind about this game wasn't the graphics nor the mechanics. It was the AI that fought back. Hearing the comments they would make when you threw a grenade or when they would see you and call for help, I was hooked. For 4 Halos, I never regretted ever buying one. Though I was not a fan of the multiplayer coming from a PC, the campaign was enough to have me buying the game and loving it. Gears of War. When this game came out, there was only one bad boy running the FPS scene on console, and it was Halo. Number 8 on my list, but Halo was great as it was an older fashioned deathmatch game, and Gears proved to be different at the time, a third-person shooter, duck and cover shooter, with fatalities and blood all over the place. Not to mention the story and the intensity in this game was amazing. Everything from the sounds, music, and even the commercials throughout the series' lifespan, it still remains one of the baddest series ever. Graphic-wise, the Unreal Engine proved that it would run with the boys on the console, and did it ever. 4 games in the series later, who doesn't love Gears? Gran Turismo. This was one of those games that actually brought the first interaction I had between me and my friends before the internet. I would literally go over to a friend's house, bring a CD, we'd all make and design our cars, copy them over to our little memory cards, and later on that week we'd race for cars. The loser had to save his file to the winner's memory cards and delete the copy he had to next week. As far as the game goes, this was the first game I ever tuned a car in. First time I had a Skyline, heard of a Skyline, or an Evolution. Way before the Fast and the Furious, I had Gran Turismo. And to this day, I love racing games, thanks to this series.